Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ryan. Today we're going to talk about a really fun topic. It's actually, what is the difference between SEO and SEM? You think that everyone knows it, but they don't. And I want to actually kind of just break it down from a high level, and we're going to get into really details in the coming weeks. So SEO versus SEM, what's the difference? Or is it even SEO versus SEM? Is it just SEO and SEM? This topic, we did call it versus because a lot of people like to say, oh, we're not going to do one or the other. From the energyhill standpoint, we do think they support each other. So we look at it kind of like at two legs of a table or what have you. Not that you'd have a table with two legs, but you get the idea. You have two legs. One of them should be your SEO strategy, and the other one should be your SEM strategy. And actually, from a business standpoint, it's actually one overall marketing strategy, and what are your SEO tactics and what are your SEM tactics. So let's dig in. The first thing I want to kind of say is that when it comes to SEO, it actually is an abbreviation for search engine optimization. Really, when it comes down to it, it's what are you doing on your website that is optimized for search engines to find you. We have a fun little, animation of a cat going nuts. But the whole idea is that there's a lot of things you can do that can optimize your website. Some of the high-level things are do you actually have proper descriptions and title tags and H tags on your pages? Also, how fast is your server? Is there an SSL license? So there's all these things. We really look at about, I'd say 60 to 70 different items and things that could be done to properly optimize your site. I'm going to say something that you don't need to get overly paranoid about. Some things. Things that you should be paranoid about are security licenses. Yes, you should. I think Google will actually start really demoting you and ranking you lower based on, oh, they don't have their SSL set up or set up properly. Some of the things that are less important, I'm not going to say not important, but less important, would be your like H3 and H4 tag structure. H1's important. After that, you can kind of breathe a little bit easier. H1, H2s, I think that should be really your main statement for the page, your keyword for the page. H2 should be supporting statements for that H1 or that title keyword that you're going after. So that's kind of the SEO high level. SEM is a little different. It is still organic, and also the term organic means people find you through their phone, through search engine, through Bing, through Google, whatever. They find you organically. Maybe they heard of you, saw a billboard outside or some type of advertisement in a local restaurant. They saw something and they were triggered to say, hey, let me go check them out a little more. That's the term organic. Now, search engine marketing, SEM, is different. It's actually you're paying to have people find you via Google ads, Facebook ads, whatever. You're paying typically one of the larger publishers to say, hey, please rank me for X, Y, and Z, these keywords that I'm going after. Now, what's interesting about social, it's kind of put a little spin on it. You can have someone share an ad if you do a really phenomenal ad and not necessarily pay for that. So if it's a share and then all of a sudden, they share it with their followers and they say, hey, this looks good, check this out, or they tag you. And so there's some organic there as well when it comes to SEM. So people always say, well, which is better? I think, again, going back, you should have a strategy overall and tactics that include both of those elements. The big difference is what I said earlier. One is typically on page. There's not too much you can do to help your SEO outside of things that are really specifically targeting your website. Dedicated to your website. When it comes to search engine marketing, it's really, you're going to be typically paying publisher, whether it's Google ads or Facebook or whatever, to be in front of people. So in a sense, you're going to have an ad budget separate from your other creating the assets or creating the content. You're going to have an ad budget that says, okay, well, for $8 per click, we're going to receive these type of leads, people searching for this content. When it comes to SEO, you don't have to pay, with the exception of time, effort, and honestly, I would always recommend hire out people writing blog posts and, in a sense, creating content for your SEO tactics and initiatives. So you're paying up front kind of for SEO. When it comes to SEM, you're actually paying for yes, the content created, but then you're also paying to have people engage with your content. I went through SEO. Again, I just want to put the abbreviation search engine optimization for those of you taking notes, search engine marketing for those of you taking notes. What I want to do is talk about real quickly about what makes for great SEO. I talked about the high level things. Number one, security license. If you go into any browser and just type in, whatever XYZ website, and if you don't see a lock, typically that website's gonna be very hard to rank for. So that's like the highest level. What makes it great? That's what makes it basic. What makes it great is actually having a full plan of content that you're gonna be pushing out daily, weekly, monthly. Now, I'm not saying that you should be doing daily. If you're not there yet, if you don't have a system in place and you're not able to crank out that content, focus on monthly first, or honestly focus on quarterly first, and then you work your way forward especially as you grow your audience. Think like a machine and understand the human mind. This is important when it comes to both SEO and SEM. We always, and I want to do another talk on this where we get into the granular, what does a plan look like? But think like a machine. Keywords drive it, okay? Whether it's SEO or SEM, keywords drive it. What keywords do you want to rank for? From an SEO standpoint, it doesn't mean just write one article. You should have a plan that's addressing different search terms that people could be looking for in relation to that keyword, and have a really nice web of content that people could find you on. Search engine marketing is a little bit more, I'm going to say, simple to find the keywords to write on, but it's more complicated to optimize the accounts. But again, think like a machine, understand the human mind. I always say that, yes, we want to write based on keywords, but we want to write it for humans, not for robots. We believe in transforming ideas through experiences via web design, brand, and marketing. That's kind of our core values here and what we're about. Thank you so much. That's my contact information. If you have any questions, we are going to do a follow-up on this. So make sure you comment, pound that bell to make sure you're notified of the content. But the next video I'm going to do is actually going to break down SEO, SEM from a tactical standpoint, tactical granular. We're really going to get into it as far as a company. Here's all the keywords they're targeting. Here's SEO, here's SEM. How do they actually collide, and how can we make a really good campaign out of both efforts? Thanks so much. Have a good one. We'll talk soon.